I understand. Why do you need my driver's license on? Why?
Yourself, like who you are.
Why do you need to identify me?
Sir, you're on airport property.
That has nothing to do with anything. I'm parked. I was parked when you guys came up to me.
Yeah.
He's parked at an airport, engine off, not moving. And within seconds, officers demand license, insurance, everything. That's the setup. Here's my first red flag. No one articulates a violation before demanding ID. That matters. A parked car isn't automatically a crime scene. If this turns into a detention without reasons, that's a Fourth Amendment issue. So what's their actual basis?
You didn't pull me over. I was parked.
I see that you're recording me.
Of course I am, because you guys are asking me for my insurance, driver's license, and everything. For what reason?
You have the authority to do.
Says who?
Says the Highway Traffic Act.
You have. Why do you have to have that for no reason? You don't even have a reason. What did I do? What did I break a law?
We have the right to ask anyone for their insurance.
Well, I don't mind giving it to you, but I don't like the fact that you just come up and you want my driver's license, insurance, and for no reason. Because I was parked. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything illegal. There was nothing.
Then what's the problem?
That's what I'm saying. Then what's the problem? Why would you ask me for that stuff?
Listen to the wording. He asks, why do you need my driver's license? The answer, we have the authority. That's not a reason. That's a power claim. Big difference. Under the Fourth Amendment, detention requires reasonable suspicion, not vibes. Saying Highway Traffic Act without explaining the violation is a red flag. If you can't name the offense, what are we doing here?
Because we have the authority to do so.
What? That's not an answer.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
We had a call for suspicious vehicle that was abandoned at an airport. Okay?
Oh, so you think there's something wrong with the vehicle?
I'm telling you why you're being stopped. Why we're here.
I wasn't
You got a call.
stopped. I wasn't stopped. You just said why I'm being stopped.
Why you're being detained right now, because technically you're being detained.
I'm detained?
Any traffic stop is a detention.
Okay, so I'm detained.
That's semantics.
I would, now you let me know that I'm detained. So, anyways, when your supervisor comes out, then we can go further with that. I just, didn't do anything wrong. I dropped my family off at the airport. I got a $75 ticket, which sucks, because I have 3 kids and 1 wife and 7 luggages and 3 knapsacks to take in
There's always
there.
an option to park.
Now we get a pivot. They claim a call about a suspicious abandoned vehicle. Okay, that could justify an approach, but here's the issue. Once they see the owner present, calm, explaining, where's the ongoing suspicion? He wasn't stopped in motion, he was parked. When she says, you're being detained, that's huge. Detention needs articulable facts. Did we hear any?
No, there isn't, because there was the parking. I was going to do that, and the parking only goes to, here. Right? This is too high for the parking. I was going to pay the $14 or $20 to park it, and then go and be able to say goodbye to my family, but I couldn't even go in there, right? So, I know you can say that, but it wasn't even an option for me. So... anyways, I'm not filming you to be a dick. I'm just filming you because I want to know that I'm not going to be violated here. Perfect. Oh. How are you doing today?
Sir, how are you?
Good.
I'm fine.
I asked for you
Yep, no problem.
because I was parked here.
Yep.
I got a ticket back there because I was bringing my family in with all their luggage.
Okay.
I couldn't park in the underground because
Right.
this thing's too
Yep.
high.
Yep.
Then, after getting the ticket, I moved up here and stopped, and then these two came and then asked me for driver's license, insurance, and registration. And I don't see why, because I'm just parked. I wasn't even in motion.
Okay.
So I mean, that's why I requested you, because I've done nothing wrong, broke no law,
right.
and then somebody's asking me for that.
Okay, well, you are on private property, right? This airport belongs to airport property,
This is public.
but this is assigned to the airport over here, right?
It's still
And we are-
public,
okay.
right?
but
This
you-
is public, right?
No, this is private. This is all private. As soon as you come
I
into-
know it's private, but this is
Nope.
how the public gets in.
Nope.
It's
And if you
public
want,
access.
we can call a public safety officer to come and tell you that. They're GTAA employees,
I'm just saying it is public access.
but it's private property,
Oh,
right?
That's fine. Yeah.
So that's why these officers are asking you for your driver's license, ownership, insurance.
On private
You left-
property.
You left your vehicle unattended, right? That's what the call
It was
service
parked with the four ways on.
But unattended. Were you inside the vehicle?
No, I
So it was unattended.
went in there.
Yeah, so it's unattended. You left it unattended.
Yeah, and it was parked with the four ways on.
Doesn't matter.
There's
you
no
can,
reason
there's-
for
You,
that.
can park, you can't park here with four ways on and leave your vehicle unattended.
Well, I got a ticket for it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It
which
was
is fine.
already dealt with, and that's why I'm saying.
Supervisor arrives. New angle. This is private property. That's the leverage. Here's the problem. Public access property isn't a constitutional free zone. Police powers don't expand just because land is privately owned but open to the public. That's not how the Fourth Amendment works. We're agents of the property sounds official, but agency doesn't erase constitutional limits. So where's the lawful basis to compel ID?
Why is it carrying on? Why does it have to carry on after it's already dealt with?
But then you moved up a little bit and then you left your vehicle unattended again.
No, I didn't. No, I
Okay, So
didn't.
you just moved it up.
I just moved it up.
Okay, and is there a reason why you're still here?
My family's still inside. I haven't even said goodbye to my family. They're checking in, right?
So if you want to park your vehicle, you can't park your vehicle here and leave it unattended. If you leave it here
I'm not
unattended,
leaving it attended.
Okay, so now since they're inside, if you want to say goodbye to them, I know you can't park there. You have to park at the Tim Hortons, and you have to walk over this way.
But I'm not going in there to say goodbye. They're coming out to say
You
goodbye.
can't wait here. So it's either you're going to keep circling around.
That's fine with me.
repeatedly, right?
I don't mind
Yeah,
circling
so
around.
You keep
I just
circling around.
like-
Like if you leave it unattended, then we're going to tow it.
yeah.
right?
No,
Whether
that's
you-
fine.
whether you're standing-
I understand that from
Yeah.
the lady, right?
So even if you're standing curbside, right,
Yeah.
and this vehicle's unattended, we're going to tow it, right?
Yeah.
Because you've been asked to leave, you got a ticket already. Next
I
option-
wasn't asked to leave. I just got a ticket.
Okay, well now I'm going
Right,
to ask you to leave. I understand you're waiting for someone, but they're not here right now. You're standing outside here.
Yeah, they're
So circle
checking
back
in.
around, no problem. But the second you leave this unattended, it's
There.
Watch this carefully. He just wants to say goodbye to his family. The supervisor responds with logistical hoops. Park far away, take a cab, circle endlessly. That's pressure. It looks like compliance leverage because they tie cooperation to convenience. That matters. Rights shouldn't depend on emotional exhaustion. And notice, they still haven't clearly articulated a new offense. So why the ID insistence?
They're right there, by the way.
Yeah, so
So
if security calls and leaves it unattended, it's going to get towed. So if you don't want your vehicle being towed and you're not going to leave it unattended, I would suggest leaving it at the Tim Hortons at Jetliner and Airport
Yeah.
Road. And you can either walk this way or take a cab here, and then the cab can take you back to your ambulance.
they're literally going to their flight. They're gonna come and say goodbye and then go to their flight.
Yeah.
Now they're going the opposite way because you guys are here.
So wherever they're going, if they're checking
They're coming
in,
out that door.
Yeah.
They tried to get it out.
I guess that's why. But yeah, like I said, that was the whole thing I'm here for.
And just to let you know, we do have authority to ID you, okay?
I-
So you
Final move. We do have authority to ID you because you're on private property. That's the core claim. But being on private property open to the public does not automatically trigger mandatory ID under federal constitutional standards. This varies by state, but detention still requires lawful grounds. The takeaway? Know the difference between a request and a lawful order. If you were him, complaint first or records request. Like, subscribe, support the original creator. This video provides transformative commentary and legal analysis of publicly available police audit footage for education, critique, and accountability under fair use, 17 U.S.C. Section 107.
I think if you pull me over for a traffic stop, yes. But if you don't pull me over for a traffic stop, you don't. Is that not correct?
Well,
am I wrong?
You're still on private property.
No, but am I wrong?
That's where our powers come into place when you're on private property, right?
But
and now
again,
we're agents
yes.
of the property. That's where we come into play. Okay, traffic stop. Yeah, no matter what, you have to ID yourself during a traffic.
Of course, but it's not a traffic stop.
But right now you're on private property, so if you were asked for your ID, you're gonna have to provide your ID. Okay.
So you're paid by the airport?
GTAA. Yep.
That's awesome.
Quick recap. Parked vehicle, vague authority claims, detention declared, private property theory introduced, but at no point do we hear a clearly articulated traffic violation tied to the ID demand. That's why this matters. When officers rely on confidence instead of clarity, citizens lose ground. So here's the real question. Do you comply and fight later, or refuse and test the detention?
Yeah. So if you want to say bye to your family, and then you can get going, okay?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.